Tzu Chi participates in the Caritas Internationalis conference in Vatican to share its charity mission. Students from Southern California Tzu Chi Academies give thanks to parents and teachers upon graduation. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Maggie Tai. Thank you for joining us. In 2014, the Ebola virus outbreak in West Africa led to collaboration between US Tzu Chi Headquarters and the Catholic Caritas Internationalis. Since then, Tzu Chi became the only Buddhist organization that's invited to their conference every 4 years at the Vatican. The secretary has expressed goals for future cooperation and was impressed by the 8 items made by recycled materials. Tzu Chi has started working with Caritas Internationalis since the Ebola virus spread in West Africa. In addition to giving out medications and second-hand clothes in Sierra Leone, volunteers also deliver rice during the flood in 2017. The construction of a hospice was finished this year, and Tzu Chi also focused on nutrition for children in orphanage. Caritas Internationalis hosts major conference every 4 years. This May, they invited Tzu Chi to participate in the event at Vatican, making Tzu Chi the only Buddhist organization invited.
Present economic and financial development model is bringing us into the world. So really have to think of living in a different way. And in this, Catholic Church is engaged, I'm sure the Buddhists as well. So we come together to try to build a better world for all.
Other than Sierra Leone, they've also collaborated at the Mexican border to help refugees with shelter. The footprint of great love has made the Taiwan Caritas representatives proud.
Tzu Chi has developed well to serve impoverished people all over the world. It's a work that pleases God, so we thank you all.
The key concepts of this year's conference are environmental protection and vegetarianism, which coincides with Tzu Chi's mission. Volunteers showed the blankets and aid supplies made from recycled PET bottles at the event. Many were impressed and hoping for future collaborations. Tzu Chi volunteers from Karimun Island, Indonesia brought the total of 250 kilograms of rice and 5 boxes of instant noodles to a boarding school on Pulau Parit Island after hearing the school was running out of food. In January, the dormitory at the school was on fire, and the volunteers also went there to deliver new mattresses and daily supplies. This cross-religious assistance touched everyone on both sides.
Upon hearing the boarding school is running out of food, Tzu Chi volunteers at Karimun Island immediately prepared 250 kilograms of rice and 5 boxes of instant noodles. They took about traveling for 20 minutes to deliver the goods to the school, which is very moved by the volunteers' kindness.
Our religions are different, but we still help and care for each other.
Tzu Chi volunteers were also at the boarding school in January to deliver mattresses and daily goods after the girls' dormitory was on fire. Now the dormitory has been repaired.
When the fire happened, the volunteers brought mattresses and other goods to us. So we're grateful. We've been using them. Now the students can go to school.
Kita lihat dia bangunannya sudah selesai ya.
The dormitory at the school has been repaired and all the equipment is complete. During the month of appreciation of May, we can all share blessings with each other.
Untuk sesama.
Great love can cross religious and racial boundaries and pull our hearts close to each other, so their hearts will become warmer.
Beijing Tzu Chi volunteers have been helping underprivileged students in Yi County Secondary School and Yi County Vocational School for 11 years. Recently, the volunteers went visiting these students' families. The journey was twisted, so the driver, who were also the teachers, had to drive very carefully. The students waited at home when the volunteers visited to share love for their families.
The teachers who go alone must have a lot of experiences in driving.
On one hand, it's for the traffic safety, and the other is we teachers must also go. You can say that it's for re-education. Tzu Chi goes to help our students, so we teachers must also go along to find out the basic information about our students.
The parents of the twins, Wang Yan and Wang Ying, think far about the education for their children.
Do you want them to go to school or go to work?
I hope they have more cultural knowledge. We don't have any schooling, so it's not good if they aren't educated.
Chen Yalu is interested in pursuing further education, so her parents feel delighted.
学的是旅游是吧？旅游怎么样？觉得挺好的，自己挺有兴趣。你们那个是3+2是读可以上大专。
Beijing Tzu Chi volunteers have been helping underprivileged students of the Yi County Vocational School for 11 years. The teacher also came along with the volunteers, and they pick times when the students are taking breaks at home.
所以这次学校讨论就是让学生在家能够跟我们的职工在一起。
At school, we decide that the students should stay at home so the volunteers can bring hope and good wishes to the parents.
就是说希望啊，祝福。
你是这一户吗？
对，就是这一户。
这一户啊。
When Yang Sen was 6 years old, his father died in a mining accident and his mother was missing. While the family is poor, he still receives a lot of love from his 85-year-old grandparents and his uncle.
你说什么？
不是父母，生子父母。
哦，不是父母啊，生是父母啊。
Yang Sen is very mature. When he has grown up and has a capability, he will take care of you.
缓和一下，缓和一下。我们也挺感动的，我们也很感动，真的。
When Tzu Chi volunteers see these students are so filial to their elders, they know they must accompany the students and be their support on the journey of life.
There is a 90-year-old solitary grandma in Xiamen who has to go to the hospital often. However, her biggest wish was to move to a proper nursing home. Therefore, Tzu Chi volunteers have arranged for her move out. Let's see how volunteers on conditional love and care completely changed the grandma's mindset.
Over the years, the local hospital's emergency room has become the second home for Grandma Chen. However, whenever she sees anyone, only complaints come out of her mouth.
无啦，阿嬷无啦。有啦，会听。哎呦，忙甲我白啦，以前。无啦，甲你看无呢，甲你看无呢。就甲你讲，你一直爱想好诶，爱想好诶，甲会好。
The 90-year-old grandmother should be happily surrounded by grandchildren at this age. However, nothing good ever comes out of her mouth. It's always filled with negativity. None of her family members can stand her anymore, so she was kicked out of the family home. The closest family member describes her as a ticking time bomb. The grandmother's heart, just like her body, is filled with pain. In order to successfully accompany her to the nursing home, Tzu Chi volunteers try to use positive words and tolerance. They also try to help her relatives change their mindset about her.
你也想迄日你嘛做志工，咱莫当做讲是伊的小弟，安尼好无？好啦好。好无？好啦好。吼，咱相约好无？好啦好。吼，斗阵来做好代志啊，安尼就讲。
Originally, he didn't even want anything to do with her. He refused to cooperate with us. However, later he saw just how much love and care everyone was showing her. He was deeply moved. He even wanted to kneel before us to show us his gratitude.
Heading to a nursing home has always been the grandmother's biggest wish. However, getting her there isn't as easy as it looks. Even though she has mobility difficulties, she still insists on not being carried into the car by others.
报上你算了，你还卖的上。哇，真高真高，真高。
你唔放破，现在伊讲个跑路真疼呢。
Knowing now that the grandmother is actually just afraid of the pain, so when they were getting out of the car, volunteers were extra careful in helping her. This is no longer the hospital setting. Here, it is filled with love and care.
有满意吧？有啦。有吼。啊，先感恩你，你看，伊第一个甲你相拜咧，甲伊介绍者，你讲你叫什么？你做这个阿姨。我甲伊讲嘿。叫什么？叫什么？阿丁啦，阿丁啦。哦，阿丁。
The grandmother has finally found a home. She's smiling year to year now. The volunteers will continue to care for her so that she can be happy each and every day.
its graduation season, Tzu Chi Academy in Irvine and Orange County in Southern California hosted a humanistic culture exhibition to mark milestones in these children's learning. Students seized the chance to show gratitude. Let's take a look.
This Japanese student speaks fluent Mandarin after studying in Tzu Chi Academy for 10 years. She took the responsibility to be the MC of the event.
I'm glad I can learn Mandarin for the past 10 years. I'm grateful to all my teachers for teaching me.
Irvine Tzu Chi Academy in California hosts a humanistic cultural exhibition during this graduating season. The CEO of US Headquarters came to give his good wishes.
The children in our academy have a special characteristic that no other schools can give them, which is compassion. Compassion will be of great help when they grow up. It will make them a more helpful and kinder person to society.
The goodness in children has also been an inspiration. The paper umbrella they paint not only used in performance but can also cultivate kindness.
We let the children paint the umbrella and use it to cultivate kindness.
Additionally, this event combined Mother's Day and a tea ceremony to convey Tzu Chi's humanitarian culture.
In this holiday of gratitude, we combine tea ceremony and gratitude together. Through the art of tea, they can learn to think and to calm their mind. Then they can write down Jing's aphorisms on the bamboo sticks to give to their mothers.
Children learning how to be thankful and filial. I think this is something that American education lacks. I think it's very meaningful that they know to be grateful and give back.
Children use their creativity to make one-of-a-kind gifts to express love and gratitude to their mothers.
Recently, U.S. Tzu Chi volunteers went to Haiti to conduct the first volunteer training course. Many participating in the event learned about Tzu Chi's 10 precepts through a special film. They also promised to pursue a vegetarian diet and took the opportunity to be grateful to everyone.
Everybody stand up. 3 bow to master. First bow. Second bow. Third bow. Today is 2019, first time formal training class. First of all, we are watching master teaching now.
训练啊，哪有办法？现在开了中门呢，那样的正气。
Today is a big day, especially because of Master's teaching, which can lead everyone to walk the right path in society.
First, human being have to be respect is ourselves. If you make
There are about 50 volunteers here, and each will make a point to share their experience in the community.
I don't want to only me talk. I want you to share.
À travers courage que moi gagne, moi capable aller aider monde qui pi faible. Comme jeune, nous c'est vraiment.
As young people, I think it's very interesting to be able to help others in our community. It gives me happiness. I used to think when I have money, I can help. Now I have a way to help with the little I have.
I know you guys been here since 8 o'clock. Now we just exercise a little bit.
像一棵海草，海草，海草，海草，随波飘摇。海草，海草，海草，海草，浪花里舞蹈。海草，海草，海草，海草，管它海浪惊涛，我有我乐逍遥。人海呀。
Mr. James teaches us the 10 things we have to respect. Don't steal, don't kill, even the animals. We don't have the right to kill them.
Why we are vegetarian? We are talking about the compassion. We treat them same as us, like a human being. We don't kill.
It's a foundation that makes people feel they're alive. It's a good feeling to be supported. Tzu Chi gives people value and respect.
Thank you very much. Because of you, the people in Cité Soleil, La Saline, the slum residents, they can get rice for the summertime.
Tzu Chi volunteers Chen Tzu opened a coffee shop in the specialty wood carving street in Sanyi, Taiwan. She always makes coffee for her customers while sharing concepts on environmental protections. 10 years ago, she stopped using paper cups and used mugs to serve her customers. Let's pay a visit to her coffee shop.
At the corner of this specialty wood carving street in Sanyi, Taiwan, is a very special coffee shop. There is always a strong coffee fragrance emitted at all times. The shop owner is also a dedicated environmentalist. She is Tzu Chi volunteer Chen Tzu, and she likes sharing about environmental protection concepts with her customers. She stopped using paper cups altogether 10 years ago.
If you do not use a paper cup today, then you are cutting out one paper cup for the earth. You see what a good deed you are doing.
If the customers want to take the cups to go, they can.
You can take my mug to go shopping and then return it later. Some people don't want it because they say that the mugs have already been used by someone else. So then I will boil the mugs in front of them to disinfect it.
I think this is good for the earth because we only have one earth, and if we pollute it, we'll have no place to live anymore. We must protect it for the next generation.
Some mugs have been broken or have disappeared over the years. However, after a decade of persistence, the shop owner has won the support of many returning customers.
DNA evidence is a commonly used method of solving crimes. It is now being used to increase the conviction rate for timber poachers. Previously, it was hard to prove where this poached timber came from, but now it is easy to trace it back to the source in the forest. Scientific forensics are being put to good use as a special database is being created for endemic species to potentially deter more poachers in the future.
I have been very interested in the biology part since I was a child. I often observe nature and I am moved by it, especially animals which I am attracted to.
Ten Chi Tong is a careful observer of animals and plants. At first glance, he's like a biology teacher in school. However, there are special circumstances to his work, as he is in the Forensic Science Department of the Ministry of Justice Investigation Bureau. This is like the CSI division, which uses science to solve crimes. His expertise in biology, which was cultivated from childhood, he is responsible for key evidence in many criminal cases. For example, the identification of human DNA. 2 years ago, he crossed from the human field into the plant kingdom, as he began to build a database for Taiwan's precious cypress trees.
I also like mountains very much, and the concept of ecological conservation is actually very strong in me. The Forestry Bureau and some law enforcement officers investigating timber poachers asked for my help.
The use of human DNA is not unusual in criminal cases or even determining paternity. Applying to trees is a new technology. The goal is to improve the conviction rate of timber poaching and protect these trees which can't speak for themselves as they battle these dangerous poachers.
Sometimes we may lack evidence, and we hope to use many different methods to get information to show that this wood came from the forest. DNA is one way to do this.
What type of wood is this? This is camphor. Yes, and the other is red cypress. And this is a tumor of red cypress, and this is camphor, as most of Taitung area is camphor. According to the statistics from the Forestry Bureau, among the 1,383 timber poaching cases seized from 2011 to 2018, the top 5 species of timber stolen were camphor, hinoki, red cypress, cedar, and Chinese fir. Of these cases, 480 involved camphor and 459 hinoki, which together accounted for 67% of cases.
Because red cypress has a special scent which locals and foreigners really like. This means that it has been the focus of poachers. It is something that everyone likes. As for the camphor, this is supposed to have a healing effect, so everyone went to steal it to help cultivate AC fungus.
当时犯嫌就是开这一台铁牛车，他把那一个
At that time, there was a truck coming down the mountain, and he had a piece of wood that was 1.8 meters long and 1.7 meters wide. It was a rectangular shape. On the phone, we heard that this piece of camphor he wanted to sell was $120,000 US.
扭樟木想要脱手，那他是说要卖400万。
这是我们案件送来的块木简体，固定完了以后呢，我们就锯。
This is from a case which was sent to us, taken from a cypress tree. After fixing it in place, we will saw a little bit off. For DNA testing, we don't need a lot. We just need a little bit. For example, just a little bit like this is enough for us.
也够我们做了。块木它比较困难的地方就是说，你必须要去追溯到。
For cypress, this difficult thing is going back into the special conservation area and finds the tree that was cut down.
In fact, the process of constructing this database is still ongoing. We're targeting these old-growth trees that are very valuable, first taking their data, which we can put in a database for future comparison.
Taking the DNA of the cypress is actually the same process of identification which applies to humans and other animals.
一旦变成粉末的时候呢
Once it becomes a powder, it will probably become like this and like a fine powder. Then we start adding some reagents. This is a DNA extraction reagent that extracts the DNA inside.
DNA 给萃取出来。
There are about 7 different types of cypress which exist on Earth, distributed in Alaska, Japan, and Taiwan. The so-called Taiwanese cypress actually includes the red cypress and hinoki. This endemic species of Taiwan cypress, is distributed from Yilan to Taichung. The red cypress can tolerate more extreme heat as its distribution extends to Taidong.
一定大概就是红块扁柏各件。
We forecast that the red cypress and hinoki, about 300 of which are ancient trees that need special protection under the law.
比较特别需要保护的那些去建档。
The key to tracking these poachers is taking different samples of wood and getting their DNA evidence. Through testing and comparison, a crime location can be restored as this technology has begun to be used in criminal investigation.
只要你能够找到就是这个樟木
As long as you can find remnants of the tree which was cut and the poached timber, you can do a comparison to see if it is the same genetic strain.
The expanded use of new technology will be an important step in Taiwan's forestry conservation efforts. In the future, this data will assist police and forestry patrols in deterring criminals from stealing and destroying our precious forests.
Malaysia Tzu Chi volunteers launched a vegetarianism campaign in a local elementary school. Teachers and students help to protect the environment through a healthier diet. We'll leave you with these images and thank you for joining us. Goodbye.